Hello and welcome to North Star Stamper. I'm Sue Kremer, and today we are making our own pattern paper. Let me find myself on my tablet. Half the fun of doing a live is being able to interact with you. Let's see, and I remember to turn the volume down so I don't hear myself twice, or you don't hear me twice. There we go. I think. Oh goodness, that is terrible video. You know what, let's go out and come back in. Maybe that will help. I need to see if I can change, let's see here, sorry. Let me know how the video is for you. It was really blurry on my first go around there, so if I have to stop and come back in, we'll do that. Because having a blurry video makes it no fun. Hello. Is the video okay for you guys? It was really awful on my tablet. Let's see. I know there's a couple of people on here. My mom and my sister, hello. Good to see you. And Diana, hello from North Carolina. It is blurry. Oh dear. Let me move this up and see if that helps. I'm moving my tripod up. I don't know what other options I have. Was that better, Anne? It hasn't changed on my thing yet. Otherwise, we will stop and start again. Did that help at all? Oh, maybe a little bit. Did that help? Maybe when I get these out of the way, it'll be better. So you're here on Facebook. I do upload these to YouTube. I input stuff to Pinterest. My blog has the cards I make during my videos, and then if you want to purchase from me, you go to my website at northstarstamper.stampinup.net. And I had somebody ask about embossing. So I'm going to cover that first and hopefully put paper over table. Okay, I was going to do that anyway when I stamped, but I was going to do this, but there's lines on here and sometimes that makes it blurry too. So let's see. If that's still blurry, I'll turn it over and the other side is just white. So, and let me know. So if you go to my website or Stampin' Up's website, you can go to stampinup.com or to my personal one, which is North Star Stamper. If you select Shop Products, there is an embossing section. And right now Stampin' Up offers 3 ways to oh, it's dirty. Ah, that's right. 3 ways. We'll turn it right side up because those feathers are beautiful. There are 3 ways that Stampin' Up offers embossing. So this is an embossing folder, and you need a machine to put this through. We have the Stampin' Cut and Emboss. We have the regular big machine and the mini boss. The big boss can take 6-inch folders. The mini boss is 3.5, so we have 3-inch folders. And then, I don't know if you can tell, but it is the raised, and this one is called scripty, so there's actually words, and I think it goes this way. So it's embossed, and it's not flat anymore, so this one happens to be words, so that's one option. That's called dry embossing. The second embossing we have, Anne says dirty is good, thank you. The second we have is called heat embossing, and you do need a heat tool. This is an old non-Stampin' Up one. Stampin' Up does offer them. So this is more than 20 years old. And you use a pigment ink that dries very slowly, and then you use embossing powder over the ink. So this I stamped in Versamark that we offer, and then I use silver powder, and then I use my heat tool to melt the powder, and that gives you an embossed image, and it is usually shiny. You can see that pretty butterfly. So that's the heat embossing. That's the second embossing we offer. The third embossing we have is called embossing paste. And right now the silver is on the clearance rack, and it is, this container is $3.60 on clearance. We also have white and shimmer white. This is really old. This is like 5 years old and it's dried out. But the white you can add re-inkers to and make this paste any color you want, but I do have a sample here. So what you gives you, and I did this after a couple hours, stop on my tablet. Hopefully we're back. I think we're back. All right, hello. Thank you for joining me, everybody. I see more people saying hello. So that's embossing. Let me know if you have any more questions. I know I've done a heat embossing video that is on YouTube. I don't know that I've done the other two embossing. Let me know if you want more information, or we could do a one-on-one tutorial. Oh dear. Am I still live? I don't know that I am. My tablet says no. My video, I don't know. What is going on? I think, oh, there it says I am. Wait, I don't know what's going on. Hold on. So I'll let you look at some stamp sets while we... No, did we end? I think we ended. No, I think we're back. All right, so making our own pattern paper. So this is where I got the idea for my colors today, and I don't know if, what is going on? What is going on? Not now. Oh, it says I'm still live. Okay, hopefully that'll catch up. All right, sorry. Oh boy, I hope that is not a sign of things to come. So I've been using the stamp set a lot, and you'll see that I have some flowers in here. So this is how I decided what we're doing today. We're using very vanilla cardstock, and this is Rococo Rose, so that I already have those stamped and punched and ready to go. And I had this cross already stamped in Rococo Rose, and I thought, what colors can I put with it? So I stamped just whatever stamp I had on my table. I have soft seafoam, pear pizzazz, and then I'm going to do a little bit of rich razzleberry. I find that sometimes I want to do equal amounts of these colors, and I've learned over time that if I use a lot of my Rococo Rose and just a little bit of the darker color, I get better stamping results. So that's what I'll try to remember to do today. I also chose Rococo Rose because I have ribbon that you'll see when we're done. So that's what we're working with. I'm going to leave those there. So if you saw the picture I posted to advertise tonight, I have discovered a YouTuber. Her page, your YouTube channel is called Artfulstampin, and that's all one word, Artfulstampin, no G, with Ruth. And she is a demonstrator in the UK. And she calls these one-sheet wonders. I call it making your own pattern paper. And let's see if I can put this back together. I had it at one point. So this was one piece of paper. I think this goes here. And then I stamp it and I cut it apart. There you can see that balloon goes there. And I think I cut this off so it doesn't quite. But you can see I stamped this here, and then I stamped this, and I stamped this. So I've learned that having more white space is helpful when doing this. I use 3 colors here. We're going to use 3 to 4 colors tonight. Adding extra things like these, the ribbon and the rhinestones and the balloon punches just makes it more interesting when you make the cards. So that's where we're headed. That's one idea. Somebody requested birthday cards, so those are being sent to you. And if you're wondering what stamps those are, if you've been around a long time, these are the stamps I used, or parts. You know, there's the balloon, there's the hat, there's the streamer. And I went and showed Andrew, my son. I said, Andrew, this stamp is as old as you, because we used to put a date on there, and that's from 1997. You can see they are well loved, and I still have them, and I still use them, so I'm not getting rid of them. I do have one more card set to show you, and I wanted to use something other than white, so I used soft seafoam on this one, and I couldn't piece these back together. I used Forever Fern, and then this fern is from the Daisy Lane, so I used a few different ones of these, and then this fern. I love the lacy look of that one. And I can't remember how these go together, but these are my cards. So you can go super simple. I like the background. I left enough space, I'll call it white space even though it's green, to put a sentiment. I know a lot of people could use an uplifting card these days. My card backgrounds are just the color of ink I use on my stamping. And then, you know, here is just a die cut with a little bit of extra, And then you can add more and more. You can keep them simple, whatever you feel like doing. I forgot to show you, well, I meant to grab some envelopes, and we can stamp envelopes to match. And we can also, so we're going to use an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock. As I said, we're going to use very vanilla. And then when you trim it down so that you have layers, you're left with 1/4 inch pieces. And then I just put that on the inside to tie it all together. So that is what we're working on. And then I'll leave my stamps out so I can stamp the additional pieces, and we'll see how time goes. If I run out of time or if I still have connection issues, you may have to go to my blog to see the cards I make with what we stamp. All right. Hopefully that's enough. Diana, I like the green ones too. Just a variety of green inks and stamps, and then you can see I had some die cuts and just whatever you have. It's so fun to use whatever you have. And then this was my scrap. So I could cut that off and put it on the inside of a card, and then I trimmed one down. So that's what we're doing today. Now, I did die cut and punch some pieces already with my Pear Pizzazz and Rococo Rose, so you don't have to watch me do all of it. That was my idea, is to have enough done ahead of time so that we can actually get the cards made. I think I'm talking so much I need. So some of the things I've used. Stitch So Sweetly dies is a nice variety. The leaves you saw, and I have some already, are Forever Flourishing, and so it die cuts some of these, but then there's also pieces that just cut leaves when you if you have green paper, or you can ink it or whatever. And stitched nested labels make nice layers for sentiments and focal points. All right, so let's get busy. So I'll just share with you what I've learned. I've watched, probably a dozen of the videos that Ruth has put out on YouTube, but I haven't found a basic one that she talks about general things like numbers of colors and patterns. And I haven't used this very much. It's called Textured Essentials, and we're going to use one of these. I don't know which one. I'm going to remember that we're going to use some flowers. So maybe this one. That looks interesting. I do have my blocks, although I don't have my biggest block, but it's just a background. Okay, this is Rococo Rose, one of our in colors that will be retiring, I believe, at the end of April. So if you like these colors, Pretty Peacock, Rococo Rose, Terracotta Tile, I suggest you get them soon, because as soon as Stampin' Up! Reminds everybody that they're retiring, they sell out very quickly. So if you like those, get them now. So those two I showed you, I stamped on angles like this, but I have seen it where she did like a cross and then left white space in the corners, and I'm going to try that this time. You know what? Well, we'll see. That was a nice image. I am looking for a new table. All right. We're just going to turn those up and put them out of the way. What should we use next? I have a whole bunch of stamps here. I really like the backgrounds, and that might be nice in our rich raspberry. The feather, I just think is fascinating. We're going to use the feather. You know what? Let's do Pear Pizzazz feather. There's also a feather here in the Positive Thoughts. Oh, I know, I have a better idea. We're going to do dark green, the Pear Pizzazz in the butterfly. And we'll use Soft Seafoam was the other green I have for this feather. So we're going to do Pear Pizzazz. I probably should close this up a little. All right, so there I've got my, and I want to make sure I leave enough space, because sometime I might want to just stamp a happy birthday on an edge. Oh, that's pretty. I really like this feather. So I'm just going around our background image there. Whoops. Oh well, there's a smudge. We'll just cover it up. You will never see it. You'll never notice it. Let's go every which way. Alright, we'll probably come back and add more. I really like that feathery look, no pun intended. I want some flowers. We're going to add these flowers after, but let's try this one. I think this is a nice, kind of a generic flower. I don't even know what that flower is. Maybe a carnation or something. We're going to use our Rococo Rose again. Alright, hi Connie. Nice to see you. We're just going to kind of fill this up. Making our background. Overlaying. I don't try to keep all the stamps separate so that you can see each one individually. I do overlap them, and I also go off the edge of the paper. I'm sure you've heard me talk about that before. Oh, that's really nice when you cover it up. Alright, I think we're looking good. I don't know how full I want this to be. More full than that. Alright. I'm going to leave this open. Let's do... I think maybe this little daisy will tie in nicely, since we're going to use the punches on as an accent. Alright. Has anybody tried this before or seen anything like it? I mean, I've made my own background paper before, but to make a big sheet and then cut it up, and you see I'm not putting all of these stamps the same direction. I'm twisting and turning so that they go different directions. I really like that with the feather. Putting it there, you can't really see, so I'm going to pull this one out so you can actually see it here. Can you see? Oh, so you can see it here. Sorry, I've been off the camera. Alright, and I think these spaces here with so much of the Rococo Rose will be nice places for us to put our sentiments or our flower or whatever. I will go back when we're done. I don't want to go across the room and get envelopes, but I will use probably a number of these on our envelopes as well. I'm going to close this, and we're going to grab the butterfly. This was Positive Thoughts. There is a die set that coordinates with it. I actually use this stamp set quite a bit. We're going to make this butterfly Pear Pizzazz. And I chose these colors. Oh, pretty. I wanted something more muted. And I started with the Rococo Rose, like I said. And I just found something. I had already stamped the cross, and I just added to it, and I liked the color combination. And I guess I've used our colors enough, and I'm just kind of spreading these around. And I don't know that there's really a rhyme or reason. I think too many are going the same direction, so I'm going to turn my stamp around and stamp him that way. Even after we cut it up, you can obviously add things back in. So what are we missing? Want a little more dark, rich dark red, so we're going to use the rich raspberry, and I just tested it, and I like the combination. So if I hadn't, I mean, sometimes you'll see that I'll stamp a different color and get another idea. And I want something, let's see, I kind of like this. I don't know that that would be red or rich raspberry in real life. I kind of like this too, but that's kind of big. I could use something like that. What else do I have here? Oh, here we go. Happy Thoughts. I really like the sentiment on that. Excuse my reach there. I think we're going to use one of these. Or the little flower. I don't know. We're going to use this. This is framed for you. This is one of our local Minnesota demonstrators. This is her $1 million sales set. So she sold $1 million of Stampin' Up! Products. And when you do that, you get to go to the office and help design a stamp set. And this was hers. I believe it's Terry Gaines. If you... Her name will be in the catalog if you go look it up. What do you think? I think a flower. Although that's not my favorite flower. Let's try it. If I don't like it, we'll just tiny little A block. Fill in a little spaces. Yeah, I think it's too little. I don't like that. Let's try the other flower. Let's see if it works better. right, you guys still with me? You're being really quiet. Maybe you're watching TV or stamping or doing something. I'm going to use the end of a big long block. Ink, ink, ink. Oh, that's better. Alright, we can go a little more to the edges. I think I need a re-inker here. I was stamping some strawberries, and oops, we'll just cover that up. You know, if you saw, I got at the edge of my stamp, so I just covered it up with another stamp. So I was stamping strawberries and using Poppy Parade, and I don't have a Poppy Parade re-inker. Where do I need more color? I'm going to cover up some of this. I think I'm going to go back and using our soft sea foam and that feather, I think it got really busy and I want more of a feather look out here on the kind of out, and then we can stamp in one of the darker colors if we just stamp on the... Alright, I think we're about done. Let me see, I don't even know, I didn't time myself. Alright, or at least give you the idea of what we're going to do here. Alright, so there is our stamped piece. Oh dear, where's my trimmer? Sorry, I do need to go across the room. I thought I was all ready. While I'm up, I'll grab some envelopes. And if we have time, if anybody wants to stick around and we don't have issues. Okay. Let's get some of these out of the way because I did not clean any of those. Alright. So, Stampin' Up! Trimmer. So this is 8.5, and I know I like layers on my card, so I'm going to cut this at... Actually, I'm going to go 4 1/4. Right in the middle, and then we'll decide. And then half of 11 is 5.5, and there's what we end up with. Oh, I'm liking it. Let's get our card bases out. I will want to trim those down because I do like to see the edge of the cardstock around my layers. On one of those green ones, I pretended this was designer series paper. I chose the piece that had the most stamping on it, so this piece that had the most stamping on it, and then I cut it apart. Let me grab that card real quick. It was this card, and then I layered it on the same color, so I don't know if you can tell. So I have 5 strips that are 1 inch by 4 inches, and then used it like designer series paper, and I just happened to put it on the same color. So it, I don't know if you can tell. It just adds a little interest and dimension to the card. So we can do that with one of these. Let's see. And I do want to trim this down. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to score this real quick. And then these other ones. You know, this is how I store my paper. I didn't have all of it cut, but... And we're going to score these at 4 1/4. And those will be our 4 cards. And I'm going to leave this out, and I'm going to trim these down to make layers. I'm going to cut off this busiest part of this. So I want this 5 1/4. We could even go 5, but by 4. And again, I'm going to cut off that busiest part. And so then when we layer it onto our card, we have a nice border there. So let's do that with all these. And again, I'm going to cut off, let's do something different. I'm going to cut off a 1/2 inch. And again, I'm cutting off the busy parts because I like the white space here. Okay, it's not white, it's very vanilla, but you know what I mean. I think and these pieces we could use on the inside of the card. Oops, I dropped it. or we could save them and stamp some more and use them as just pieces. You've seen me talk about scraps. Let's just do a quarter on this one. And I did notice I did cut off all the busy parts because I kind of like this part, and we'll have to decide which way this goes. All right, put those to the side. Now to look at each one individually, let's get, we'll just kind of line them up, and then if you need to go, I will let you go, but I think I'll just keep going since I think we're good with, oh gosh, what a mess. I looked at the video. Oh my goodness. I'm going to line those up. So I have 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. Let's clean this up a little bit. Get things out of the way. Alright. So I do want these back. Alright. Let's decide. I do have my adhesive. I like this one this way with the butterflies. So this is going to be a top folding card. I think I like it that way. Oh, I don't like that I overstamped. I have a shadow on that. So I don't know if I'll put a ribbon on top of it or what, but I'll make sure I cover that up. That one's pretty. I really like the I don't know, I like that. I might just add friend or smile or whatever, thinking of you. And I think this one goes this way. And this one's going to be a top, like a top card. All right. Now, we need to decide on sentiments. Excuse my reach. Happy Thoughts is my new favorite stamp set. I have my ovals, which fit nicely with the smallest oval. Can hold any one of those sentiments. I have the little ladybug trinkets. They're pretty fun. And then here's the ribbon, the Rococo Rose ribbon. I thought that was lovely. And then I die cut some pieces out of our Very Vanilla and Rococo Rose just to have something to play with. And I thought pearls would be nice for the center of our flowers. And then I have some leafy things that I die cut from Pear Pizzazz Soft Sea Foam with the Forever Greenery dies. I forget the flower, yeah, something flourishing. All right, so sentiments. And I knew these worked because this was my template from our oval punch. You can see here that fits very nicely, any one of them. And then the larger one, you know, layers. We talked about that during the 12 Days of Christmas. All right, I have some, let's do the sentiments first. What do you think? What do you think? Alma, I like the color combinations too. And if I hadn't liked what I saw in here, I would have just added more colors and then decided on my color combination there. But I think I had a good idea of what I was doing. All right, we are going to stamp. Again, I'm running out of small blocks, so I'm going to use the end of our large blocks. Let's do a happy birthday. We'll do 2 happy birthdays. So I'm just putting it on the end of a large block. I'm going to flip it over and put another one here. And maybe a thinking of you. That's a nice one. I know lots of people could use a thinking of you card. Things are just starting to open up here in Minnesota. I think you can eat in restaurants again, so that's kind of fun. Let's use, I'm going to stamp in the Rococo Rose just because it's kind of our go-to color for tonight. And if it's not dark enough, we'll switch to Rich Raspberry. I think that's right. You can actually get a couple of these on this strip. I'm going to flip it over and use my happy birthday. Hopefully you can see what I was doing. I didn't make sure I was in camera view. And then I'm going to push right in the center and try not to rock it. No, I did rock it. So I'm going to flip it over. Oh, this one is not cooperating. Let me get something under me, a little sturdier. better. All right. And we're gonna punch these. We'll just get all our layers together. There we go. I'm gonna center it. Punch. Center tops and sides. And I really like the layered look here. Let me grab. I don't know if I have a scrap that I've already punched from, so we'll just punch here. We'll just do 2 of those. All right. And let's decide. There was that one that I just wanted to stamp on. I think this one. There's a little bit there. I think we'll just add a thinking of you, use some dimensionals, and put it right there. I think that would be a lovely card. So I'm going to adhere this. There's our Stampin' Seal. And I'm going to put the bottom layer with the seal. And then use dimensionals, if I can find some little baby dimensionals on the back of this one. These are little, I'll use 3 of them. There. And I don't know if I have extra layers, but I think I will put a layer here and then use one of these extra strips on that layer. I don't know if you know. Let's pretend this is our layer. I don't want to have to take your time because you don't need to watch me cutting. So I'm going to go like that to finish off that card. Alright, so there's one. And the next one, let's use some ribbon on this one. Actually, we'll do this one next. We're going to use ribbon to cover that up. And I'm just going to go a little wider than that. I'm going to put adhesive on each side. Sorry for the mess. And then I think my adhesive's too low. So there, I almost covered that up. I think we'll put a flower there. And then because the ribbon is kind of thick, I am going to use dimensionals on here. But I'm running out of dimensionals, and I don't throw these edges away. I use non-ribbon scissors. And cut the pieces apart. Whoa. And one more in that last corner. And take off our liners. We'll add a flower to this one. Okay, make sure I'm putting it on the right way. I have been known to put things on upside down. And then depending on what adhesive I've used, I need to do something different. Alright, then we're going to put a flower here. I'm going to use glue dots for this. So I'm going to take my flower. There's a glue dot there. I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to use my thumb to pull it off there, and then I'm going to center it. And we'll use a couple little ones. Lift it with my thumb, and I have a glue dot on my finger. Right there. And just, I'm going to offset it so it looks like a really full flower. Isn't that beautiful? And we're going to tuck some of this green behind it. Is that too much? That's too much. I don't know if I like that color anyway. I'm just going to give this a little trim. It says you have to use all of it. Oh, these leaves are all die cut together, so I'm just using my scissors to separate. So we have this little piece. I think just some adhesive behind that will work. Everybody still with me? I haven't looked at comments in a while. Alright, I think you're good. And I like that. We're going to use dimensionals behind this just to give it, not dimension, but because the ribbon is so thick. I'm going to use a couple small pieces of this. Now it's not dimensionals, it's foam tape. Just going to put that right there. I think I will put a glue dot on the ribbon as well to hold the, oh gosh, I have such a mess here. I just start creating, and then, so there we have a glue dot on the ribbon to hold everything in place, and then just put that on top. Trying not to go over the edge of the card because it wouldn't fit in the envelope, which Tony, my husband, always gets frustrated when things stick off the edge. He's like, it doesn't fit, or if it's too thick, it doesn't fit in the envelope. And that one is going to need a liner too, just to finish it off. So, do we need a sentiment on that card? Why don't you let me know what you think? Sentiment or no on that one? We have this, we have these. Let's just clean up a little bit. We'll leave the ink pads there, that's okay. All right, we have 2 more to finish. Thank you for staying with me. Oh, I did punch that too. Oh well. And this is our top loading card, or top folding card. And I think we'll do this down here with happy birthday. I think I want another layer. Maybe even just this on top of that. And then if we put dimensionals under the oval, you'll be able to see it. Do we need ribbon? I think we'll use pearls. I don't have any more ribbon handy, so no ribbon. I could just use a piece of this. Same ribbon. Alright. Trying to line that up. That works. We could just put a piece behind it. Oh, I like that. I don't do that very often, but there's no reason you can't. Get my ribbon scissors back. And I cut this at an angle. It's a work of art, Anne says. Isn't it? I feel like an artist when I stamp. But Stampin' Up! Has done all the work for me. Everything coordinates, you know, our colors and punches and dies and stamp sets, and it just, I find it quite easy, to be honest with you. Especially when it comes to flowers. You just, you know, pick your flower color and then add some green for your leaves. So we're going to do this. We're going to put some foam tape on the top and bottom of the ribbon because I don't want it to get too bulky. So foam tape on the top and bottom of the ribbon. And then we're going to center this. And then we're going to use some more. We'll just use a couple little dimensionals on the back of this one. So I think then with the dimension between the 2 Rococo Rose layers, you'll actually see it. So, and it'll be better when we get, we're going to make this a happy birthday card. Oh, I punched 2 of those. Who knew? I think that's enough dimension, so we're just going to put adhesive on this one. Thinking it'll go through the mail. And then we will add some pearls with our take your pick tool. I just learned this. Pick it up with the putty end, and then it just places so quickly. I say to put these kind of in a triangle and to use odd numbers. Is that good, or do we need 2 more? I didn't hear. Do we need sentiment on that? Let's see. This is not working. Diana says no. I assume you mean no, no, no. Okay, so that card's done. Oh, no, we need... Now it's done. And I do have 2 more to put here. There's one. Doesn't want to come up. We have 1 more card. We will have made 4 cards. This one goes right there. There's that card. All right. So there's 4 of them, and we haven't used a trinket either. I do want to use that. That's kind of fun. And our last one is going to be this one. I'm going to go this way. And I have a thinking of you, and I have that shape. And I have 1 flower left. I think a little greenery would be kind of fun. Just behind the Rococo Rose die cut. So let's put some adhesive here. Sorry if we're running longer than normal. I just wanted to show you what the cards look like. That's one thing I haven't found. With the YouTuber I'm watching and learning from, I don't always know where to go to look at, excuse me, look at her final finished cards. So I have to figure that out. So that's why I wanted to take more time and finish these cards tonight. How are we doing on time? Oh gosh, it's been 45 minutes. 42 minutes actually. I think we're gonna adhere this. So thank you for staying with me. I appreciate that very, very much. And here, I think there. And we'll put some adhesive. So like I said, I will stamp some envelopes and I'm going to stamp liners. Put that there, and that there. And some dimensionals on here, which I put away. Happy stamping. Thank you for joining me. Let me know if you have any questions. And so that person that asked about embossing, I'm going to send a card to as a thank you. And they're thinking of you. Wouldn't that be nice to send to somebody? Oh, trinket. One more thing, and then we're done. I'm going to use glue dots. So these ladybug trinkets are hollow on the back side. So I use 2 glue dots on them. Let's line that up. Ooh. So there's 1 glue dot. I figure the first glue dot fills the hole and the second glue dot actually will hold it in place. And let's put this one, I don't know, where should that go? Over here, on that flower. Thank you for joining me. Let's try to clean up just a little bit. I still have to clean my stamps. Thank you for joining me. Happy stamping, and try a one-sheet wonder, or create your own pattern paper. So, I hope you learned something and are inspired to try it yourself. Thank you for joining me, and I'll be back again next Monday with another idea. Happy stamping!